What's up guys, my name is Brandon and welcome back to the third episode of the best iOS 10 to 10.2 Jailbreak Tweaks series. And in the first two episodes we covered 69 tweaks, cue the jokes, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at 26 more awesome iOS 10 compatible jailbreak tweaks. And as usual, I will have a list of all the tweaks I mentioned in this video, along with the wallpaper, the theme, the repos you need, everything you need to know will be down in the description below. So make sure to check it out. All right, so let's go ahead and get straight into it. The first tweak is called Banner Sounds 10, and this is a tweak that will allow you to change the notification sound and the vibration pattern for every application on your device. So it's pretty advanced and you'll have to take some time to mess with it inside of settings, but I'm going to kind of show you what you do in here. So basically, the main thing you're going to be touching in here are filters. So if we go to filters, you can see I have 3 filters here, but we're going to tap to add a new one just for this video. And from here, you basically can just name the filter, so we'll just call it whatever. Then we're going to select the application. So I'm just going to select, just for the sake of this video, Activity and Anemone. And then we can skip everything else, and then we can go to notification sound, select a notification sound, select a vibration pattern, and then you have all these different options you can change as well. And then if we go back, that's pretty much it. You now have those ringtones or those sounds and those vibration patterns for those selected applications. And obviously there's a lot more you can do with this application, but I don't want to be sitting here all day showing you. If you're interested in this, go ahead and check it out. It's Banner Sounds 10. I've had a lot of questions, a lot of people asking me how to change notification sounds for certain applications, and this is how you do it. Next up is DismissProgress, and this allows you to close out of the installation page inside of Cydia instead of being forced into a respring once you install or reinstall or update a new package. So normally inside of Cydia, as you guys know, you will have to restart Springboard after every time you update a tweak or install a new tweak that requires it. And with this tweak, you can basically just see up there in the top right corner, we now have a close button, and there you go. It automatically makes it a lot easier to install a bunch of packages without having to respring after each one installed. Next up is TypeStatus 2, and this is another very awesome tweak that's been around for a while, but it just has been updated for iOS 10 compatibility. And this allows you to see up in the status bar when somebody that you've been texting through iMessage is typing when they're sending a file or when they read your message. So I have my iPad down here. I'm just gonna go ahead and start typing and take a look at the status bar. You can see it shows B, which is the contact here on the iPad, is typing. So it's really cool, and it shows up in a really mini bar as well, so it looks really, really good. And if we go into the settings, as you can see here, you can change the format, you can change the animation, the duration, all these different things you can also change inside of settings. Next up is Battivator, and just like Banner Sounds 10, you're gonna kind of have to play around with this one for a bit because it's pretty advanced inside of the settings section. So basically, Battivator will do certain actions when your battery hits a certain percent. So the main thing we want to look at here is profile configuration. So if you go into that, you have a trigger here, which basically is going to trigger whatever actions you set at a certain battery percentage. So if I select, say, 35%, that means that the actions I'm about to select only get triggered at 35% battery. So if you go to power saving, you can see I have all these things enable, ignore, so you can turn airplane mode on. So if you hit 35% battery, do you want to turn airplane mode on or off? Do you want to turn Bluetooth on or off? Do you want to just ignore it? You know, you have all these different options you can change in here. As you can see, auto brightness, custom brightness, power options, everything. Next up is a tweak called Telt X, and this prevents people from swiping through your photos when you hand them your phone. So I know everybody's been there. You hand somebody your phone to let them look at a picture, and then they start swiping through your other pictures. And obviously you don't like that because you may have stuff on there you don't want them to see. So this will prevent that. So how it works is when you're in an album and you know the photo you want to show them, you just go ahead and tap and hold, long press on it, and then tap on only look. It'll be a pop-up right there. And as you can see, it's right here. I can't scroll anyway. It says please do not swipe. And you can see it's a little bit lower quality, but you can zoom in and everything like that. And then to disable this mode, just double tap, and it takes you right back to the album. So it's pretty cool. I just wish that the images were full quality. It would make this tweak a lot better, but still a pretty cool concept. Next up is CircleIcons, and as you can see here in my settings application, my icons on the left-hand side are all in a circular shape, which looks really, really cool. This is just another great way to spice up your device and basically customize it without the need of a theme or anything from Anemone. Next up is Palert, one of my all-time favorite tweaks that I've ranted and raved about a lot on my live streams especially. But basically this completely redesigns the alerts on your device. And the best part is it's system-wide. So if I go ahead and try to delete the Spotify application, as you can see there, the pop-up is just so awesome. It's completely redesigned, looks nothing like stock iOS, and I get questions about it all the time. It even changes when you go into Cydia and add a source. As you can see, that's what the new view looks like when you go to add a source in Cydia. It looks just amazing. And one last example, I have to show Palert working with BioProtect because this is, in my opinion, the best combination as far as aesthetics go and looks go on your device that you can get. Next up is NoMusicLabel, and this just hides some labels on your lock screen. So if I go ahead and play a song, you can see when I go back to my lock screen, you can see that some of the labels from the now playing right there, the music, are gone. They're completely disappeared. You can't see the title. You can't see the album name, you can't see the artist. All of that is gone thanks to this tweak. So as you can see, it does look kind of weird since there is a lot of blank space in between there, but this will have to do until HideMeX gets updated. Next up is VoiceChanger, and I wish I could show you this one because it's hilarious, but this will allow you to change your voice live while on a live phone call. You basically get to change your voice. I mean, how awesome is that? So basically when you start calling somebody, you can see you get this pop-up right here. And if you click on it, you can have your voice changer right here. You can have Dark Lord, Normal, Smurf, Chipmunk. You can change it right here live while you're on the phone. You may have also noticed the next tweak, which is CallBar. And that's how I have this big bar up here. That is my phone call. I have all these different options I could do while multitasking. So I could be in a different application, moving around in a different application. With CallBar up right there, I can, hang up without having to click on the green bar up top and then hanging up. I can do speakerphone. I can go to click right here for the numbers and everything like that. I can mute all of this straight from here while I'm multitasking in another application, something that stock iOS has needed ever since like iOS 8. Next up is an awesome multitasking tweak called Tage, and this allows you to basically just do tons of multitasking gestures. So if I pull up from the bottom left, you can see it pulls up the app switcher, and I can go through the app switcher really quickly. If I go into an application here, if I go into music, and if I put my finger on the far left side and just swipe over, you can see it takes me to the next application or the previous application. And if I do it on the right side, it takes me to that next application very easily. And then if you want to close an app, you can just go from the bottom middle and just swipe up, and it takes you to the home screen. So this is a very powerful multitasking tweak that has a lot of use, but I do want to warn you that if you use the back, like if you do the back gesture, if you swipe from the left to the right and like Twitter or another application, you may run into issues with this tweak. You may actually do it on accident a lot. So if you don't do that, there's nothing to worry about. But if you do, I just want to warn you that it can be pretty annoying if you activate this when you don't mean to. Next up is Yogi, and this allows you to run terminal commands straight from the Spotlight search, which is pretty insane. So if we go ahead and swipe down and we have our Spotlight search here, if I just go ahead and enter safe mode, just all one word, and then hit cancel, as you can see, it's already putting me into the safe mode state instantly. So let's see when we get back. Let's see if we're actually in safe mode. And what do you know? We are in safe mode straight from the Spotlight search, which is really cool. Let's go ahead and hit restart. We can also type in respring and then hit cancel to respring our device. And there are some other commands as well. So it's pretty cool. Next up is RunMario, and this allows you to play Super Mario Run on a jailbroken device. So Super Mario Run has jailbreak detection, but this will just bypass that. Very simple tweak that allows you to play one of the hottest games right now. Next up is TinyPlayer Pro, and this adds like a miniature music player to your springboard. So it's really, really cool. If you go ahead and tap it, it even makes it transparent right there, and you can move it around to wherever you want. It does also follow you inside of applications, and you can move it around in here. You can even move it way out of the way down here in the bottom right, and then just kind of drag it up when you want to use it. Oops. Maybe that's not a good place to put it. And then inside of the settings, you could change the player style, whether you want it adaptive, if you wanted to match the artwork, light, dark. You can even go in and customize it. All these settings here, you can have squared artwork, squared player. You could have circle animations, hide label, switch positions. You have all these different options to change in here. Really, really cool tweak. I also wanted to mention that if it gets annoying to you, you can easily hide it with an activator gesture. So if I go ahead and double tap on my status bar, you can see that it disappears down there. If I double tap again, it reappears just like that. Next up is Movable 9, and this is how I don't have anything in my status bar right now. Everything is hidden with this tweak. So I showed you how to do this in my top themes video, which if you haven't checked it out, make sure to go ahead and check out my top themes video. But basically, if you go into here and you go to sort order, this is where you change everything. So if I wanted to move something from hidden all the way to the right, you can see over there on the right now, we have our Wi-Fi. All you need to do is move it back to hidden and it will be gone. No respring necessary. You also have other options in here like hiding the grabbers. You have global icon properties. You can save profiles, all kinds of things like that. But I mainly use it for hiding things inside of the status bar. And it works really well, especially when you theme and you have like widgets on your home screen and that show the time and the battery. You don't really need it in the status bar as well. So it's great for that. Next up is DisableTopHits. And this does exactly what it says it does. It just disables the top hits section right here inside of Safari. So as you can see when I type G, nothing happens there. We don't have any of our top hits right here. We just have Google search and then our bookmarks and history. Next up is Snapper 2, another one of my favorites from iOS 9. And this allows you to take a screenshot, instantly crop it, and then keep it on your screen throughout every application. So let me show you what I mean. So if I go ahead and take a screenshot and I want to crop it to just this, As you can see, it makes a screenshot there and I can drag it around. I can open up another application. So let's say I want to go into Safari. I can have it right there and then I can continue typing. So say this is like a password or something like that. I can enter that password very easily from this screenshot right here. I can even make it smaller or bigger depending on where I'm at. And then of course I could drag it down here where it closed, which means it doesn't actually save the photo. You can close and then save, or you have other options right here, which is like to add iCloud Drive. You can assign to a contact, save image, things like that. But if you just want to close, there you go, boom, it's done, deleted, and you can just make a new one. So like I said, it's a great way to remember passwords, without having to go in between applications. If you can't like copy the password, that's a great way to just screenshot it and then enter it in, or things like that. You can find a use for it, but there's definitely a big use for a tweak like Snapper 2. Next up is BetterShutdown. This just brings a much cleaner power menu when you hold the power button. So as you can see here, I have the power off, I have reboot and respring straight from there, and it actually integrates with Palert, so it looks really cool right now. By default, it's just white, but of course, if you do have Palert installed, which I did cover earlier, it will kind of take in the background or whatever you have set in settings, and it looks even more clean. Next up is Flame, and this allows you to customize the look of Cydia. So you may have noticed this earlier, but as you can see, I have like a black status bar up top with gold accents. So as you can see down here, Cydia is like a gold color, and we have this gold colorway going throughout the whole UI of Cydia, which looks really cool. And obviously you can customize this to any color you want. Next up is CertRemain Time. And this is actually an application. If you go ahead and click on this and open it, you can see it shows how long your Yahoo certificate will last before you have to re-side load it with Impactor. So obviously I have a paid developer account, so you can see mine lasts another 345 days. Then once that 345 days runs out and I reboot my device, I will have to re-sign Yahoo with Cydia Impactor. Now this may not be useful in a month or two from now when Sork releases some kind of tool where you won't have to sign it, but for now it is very useful. Next up is AFaker, and this allows you to fake the battery percentage in your carrier text, and it also has a pretty unrelated feature inside of it, but allows you to launch applications from the phone application. So as you can see here, I have Cydia selected with 221 as the password. So if I go into my phone and type in 221 and then hit call, as you can see, it will open up Cydia. So since you can't see my status bar, I just want to prove that the 2% is working and it's actually faking it. So as you can see there, it says 2% charge. So it even works when you have your phone plugged in, which is pretty cool. Next up is NCPop, and this gives a really cool 3D pop effect when you pull down the notification center. So let me go ahead and pull it down and take a look at that really cool effect that it puts on the application you were just in. Really cool 3D effect, and obviously you can change, how heavy that impact is. You can change the scale percentage, the pull down percent, the fade percent, things like that. So if we do the scale percent like all the way up, let's go ahead and move that to like 85%. Take a look at this. So you can see it makes the application behind much, much smaller, and it makes the notification center a lot bigger. And if we scroll that back down to like 40, if we do the fade percent all the way to 90, you can see it fades that background application completely out, so you can't really tell what it is. So you can kind of play with these, really cool aesthetic tweak. Next up is SingleLineDate, and this is just a very simple tweak that fixes one of my issues I have. I'm very OCD about this, and I've had this issue ever since iOS 10 was introduced, but I never liked how the Wednesday, the day, and the date were on two separate lines. This combines them into one line for a much cleaner look, and it actually gives you more space here for your widgets. I don't know, it may just be me, but this tweak is amazing, and I'm always going to keep this installed because I am very OCD about this. And if we scroll down on the notification center and swipe over, you can see it's the same right there. Next up is loop video, and as you can see down at the bottom here, this video just keeps looping over and over again, and that's exactly what this tweak does. It just loops videos inside of the native Photos and Albums application. Next up is Aporeo, and this speeds up the charging rate of your phone without using like an iPad charger or anything like that. This basically just does it by enabling low power mode and disabling it when it does get to 100%. So it's a great tweak to use alongside of Battivator, which I showed earlier, to get the most out of your battery. Next up is ShiftCycle, and as you can see when I have all this selected, if I go ahead and tap on Shift, you can see it makes it all caps. If I press it again, it makes it all lowercase. If I press it again, it capitalizes the first letter of each word, and it basically just goes through these different styles by simply tapping on the Shift button. So there you have it, guys. Those are 26 tweaks compatible with the iOS 10 Yahoo jailbreak. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. A lot more of these are coming. I'm going to cover at least 150 of these, just like I did with iOS 9.3.3. So make sure to subscribe if you're not already. Also, make sure to turn on my notifications just so you don't miss one of those episodes. Also, make sure to tune in on Friday night for my live streams where I'm going to be kind of referencing some of these top tweaks videos. And they're always a fun time. You can ask me questions and things like that. So anyways, guys, thanks again for watching, and I will see you soon.